guess following on from that, you know what New Zealanders are like. When they read this today, they'll be asking themselves, is this a smart and necessary business decision from your point of view, or is it a sign that Joseph Parker is simply becoming too big to handle on your own?
No, that's a fallacy also. I mean, when we first went into this, a lot of the public and the media assumed wrongly that the big money, the big opportunities have to be in the UK, Europe or the United States. Well, no, that's not correct. The key is to first become a star in your home market. And so Joseph Parker is a bigger star here, respectfully, than Ruiz is in the United States. And then once you become a star in your home market, because of satellite television, you could run a Saturday night show in Auckland and pay-per-view it in the United Kingdom at 11:30 a.m. Saturday morning, perfect timing. So it doesn't, we'll move Joseph around. If we win the world title, as Bob alluded to, you'll see Joseph fighting in Europe, in the United States, in New Zealand, Australia, China, whatever. And the holy grail is to become a pay-per-view star in more than one market. Not many people have done it. The Klitschko's haven't. Dean and I don't rate their promotional efforts. They took the easy road and just went on free-to-air on Germany. They didn't crack America. They're not good promoters, and they weren't good to deal with either. Bob's been far better. So the key is to, like Manny Pacquiao, if you're running pay-per-view in the United Kingdom and the United States simultaneously, you're doing giant global promotions and generating global revenue. And so we think exactly the same as Bob, and I think our companies are very well aligned and think similarly.
And you know, you can go here on a Saturday afternoon, do a Parker fight here on Saturday afternoon, and it would be Friday night in the United States, regular time, and you could do it on pay-per-view in the United States, and that would be a massive win-win situation. So by playing with the clock, and like we did with Pacquiao fought at 10 in the morning in Macau twice to be prime time on pay-per-view in the United States. But that was the stretch. The Chinese came out and supported it. But here it would be not so much of a stretch. A late afternoon fight is not so bad on a Saturday for Friday night back in the States.
It's also one of the problems with New Zealand media too is you underestimate us. Don't think this is too big for us. We're just starting. We have massive global ambitions for Joseph and for a number of other fighters. You know, just because we come from New Zealand doesn't mean to say that we can't do it overseas. In fact, it encourages us to go overseas because the market is so small. It's so hard here, you have to be bloody good. So the team around us, from Craig and the media, our team have honed the skills of promoting in one of the hardest, smallest markets, which means that when we do go global, we're going to be good. Another point worth making is we could actually help move the centre of world boxing to New Zealand. Boxing events, as Bob said, attract huge visitation. You imagine that when Lennox Lewis was fighting in the States, my family in Ireland would fly over to New York or whatever to see the fights, thousands of them. So if the New Zealand government and Auckland City, for example, or other cities, were to recognise that and support the sport, because a lot of government money goes into other sports, rugby, cricket, you name it, I think zero goes into boxing, very little. But if they recognise that there's a global economy around boxing, far bigger than rugby union, which is taken seriously by less than 10 countries. Boxing, you know, Olympic level, you've got over 100, and they travel and they have money. So if you had Joseph Parker defending the heavyweight championship in Auckland against a Joshua, for example, or Tyson Fury, you can be guaranteed you're going to get 12,000 British fans coming here on holiday. And so there's a real opportunity there for New Zealand to grow the sport, bring in GDP, bring in tourism, etc.
And like Mr. Arum was just talking about, would you say then that if Joseph wins this fight and he defends the title back home, would this be perhaps the last time that Joseph fights at, 10:30 at night? Would he be more likely to fight in the afternoon in future?
You have to work the money. It's a business, and I don't think it would be an imposition for the people in New Zealand to go to a fight late Saturday afternoon if they got a really great major fight and a major card, because I would really like to bring this Chinese kid to fight here in New Zealand. I mean, do you understand what number he did close to 90 million homes. That's more than watched the Super Bowl for his last fight. Now, did the people who, the homes pay anything? No. It was free over the air and also a 10-cent online. It was all free. But the sponsors saw. I mean, we're getting now money from sponsorship that we don't need the pay-per-view as far as he's concerned. It's huge, because if you attract an audience, what else can attract an audience like that? What else other than a major sporting event, particularly boxing?
And the Pacquiao-Mayweather, which Bob, of course, was party to, that's the highest grossing event of any genre in human history, sport, concert, you name it. 4.2 million households in the States alone, paying an average of probably over 100 US. Counting all broadcast markets and gate, it probably turned over more than $1 billion. It's unprecedented.